So, as you know, if you have any questions, you're welcome to pose your questions by speaking them or writing them in the chat box. For the people who are watching on YouTube, you can also write a brief question in the chat box and we can address it. Nothing can be added or removed from what you truly are. There is nothing lacking. To that which you are. What you imagine yourself to be. It's just a set of images. It's part of the weather, the internal weather. Because the mind cannot define what you are. Thoughts cannot define what you are. Feelings cannot define what you are. What the I is. What you imagine yourself to be, and what you imagine anything to be. Is part of your dream and is an expression of your freedom to dream. You dream a waking state, and you dream in night dream state. Irrespective of what you dream, you remain beyond the dream. You remain as you are. Untouched, unstirred. By the mind. Like the sky is untouched and unmoved by the clouds or by the rainbows. That is your true self. You don't appear or disappear. You don't start, you don't begin and end. There are no borders or edges to you, no limits, no borders, no edges to that which you are. And there is only one I, only one self, which everyone refers to as I. All minds refer to I, one I that is that which perceives right now this perception. It's always one I, never been divided, indivisible, impossible to divide the sky in any way. Division is a mind impression. That only refers to your freedom to divide and your freedom to create forms. But you remain as you are, irrespective of your infinite creations. You remain as you are, as that, which has no form, no shape, no age, indivisible, timeless self. Wherever you look, whatever you experience, you remain as you are. Everything that you experience as yourself. Never anything apart. Separation is illusion. There is no separate anything. There is no separate me, separate you. You never experience anything outside of yourself. It's not possible. Whenever you are resisting, arguing, pushing things back, away from you, or grasping, it is like it's like your right lung and your left lung fighting together. You feel it in your body as a contraction, because within your body, the body is tightening within itself. Nothing is happening outside of yourself. All your resistances are inner resistances that are a result of believing there is something at stake, that there is some danger. And this belief is within you. And this imagined danger is within you. And the contraction and the conflict is within you. And within you is the potential to see through these inner contradictions that are unnecessary, and they are made out of nothing but your own thoughts. You project an image of yourself and you don't even notice it. You're so proud of your image. Or maybe you have an image that you beat up on it. Whichever way, it's the same. You project an image of yourself and you mistake yourself for this image. You hold on to it. You polish it. You worry about it. You concern yourself about it. And all this is happening within you. Because you are not an image. But you hold on to this image within you. And so you experience the worry and the concern and the trouble about your image within you. You experience all these concerns within you. As your dreams, as your imaginations. You hold on to your own suffering because you're holding on to your own images, defending them, protecting them. And you keep thinking about yourself as an image. You think about tomorrow and after tomorrow, and you imagine yourself in the future. You harbor ill feelings about yourself and about others, or maybe not so ill feelings, proud feelings. They're all images. But you don't see through it, and when you don't see through it, it feels so real. You live your life like that, worried and troubled. And all along, the wide open sky of consciousness is unmoved and unstirred, and you do not know it. Because you're so concerned about the thoughts that are arising about you and him and her. Me, my children, my family, my job, my position, they love me, they don't love me, am I popular, what's going to happen to me tomorrow? And all these are about images of yourself. Images, ideas and images of yourself. They're within you. Within you, you hold on to them, you manufacture them, you cater to them, you love them, you hold on to them. And you complain about you, about unhappy, unhappy. You're not. But you do feel unhappy. You feel unhappy. Because you're overlooking your happiness. You're overlooking that which is completely happy and free, irrespective of anything and everything. That which is unmoved and uncertain, doesn't care about images, doesn't give a hoot about whether I'm popular or loved or not loved. But when you care so much about your person, you will experience unhappiness. It's an illusion, but you will experience it. Because you're not a person. You imagine yourself to be a person. What if you don't imagine yourself to be a person? What if you just are as you are, without any imagination, without any movement of thought? Or without grasping onto any thought arising like the mist, like the air, like the wind, like the snow falling. I remain as I am, unmoved and unstirred, undefined by the thoughts that attempt to define me. With the wisdom to see this process of thought defining me, thought defining you, thought defining everything. And I say yes, because thought is just begging for me to say yes, yes, please say yes. Because by itself, what is it? What is the thought? What is it by itself? Nothing. It's nothing. It needs your participation. So what is it that you care so much about? Whatever you care so much about, be clear about it. There is no higher caring but caring about truth, about what is real. When you are caring about truth, about what is real, you're inquiring into what is it? What is it that is real and true? Not my stories, my thoughts, my feelings, and the weather. What is it that is real and true? To look into that, to look into that. To see through the illusion. To see through the dreams. To come to the clarity of what is, what truly is in this very moment. What is it that is real, is true, that is absolute in this very moment? What is it? What is it that every moment is true, is real? Every moment. Irrespective of time and space. Is it not I, presence, I, aware presence? Not the woman, not the man, not the mother, not the daughter, not the son, not the what thought downloads, but the reality that perceives, the reality that is, that defies the mind, that is beyond mind. So you can live your life any way you want, but apply yourself to knowing yourself, to knowing what you truly are. Discrimination between what is the real and the unreal. It's up to you. Hello, Richard. You write, is there such a thing as spiritual practice? In the world of form, I can practice something to get better at it. How about being practiced? Being spiritual practice. Whatever spiritual practice you practice in your dream, as a dream character practicing a spiritual practice in the dream would be a dream spiritual practice being dreamt, being practiced in the dream by a dream character. So what is a spiritual practice that is not a dream spiritual practice, that does not relate or pertain to a dream character? What is it that is not the dream? What is it that is real? What is it that is real spiritual practice, and what is the real spiritual practitioner? There's only one reality, and that is not the reality of a spiritual practitioner doing some spiritual practice. That one reality is everything. It has no parts, no pieces, no bits to it, no this or that to it, no a practicer and practiced. Otherwise, it would not be the one reality. Being has no me and you in it. has no one doing this or that, which is different from being a man or being a woman, being a student, being a teacher, being a mother or father. Being, pure being. Right now, what is being? Being, beingness. It is. It's its own isness. The mind does not know it. The mind has no comments about it. It is its own knowingness. I am. So beingness, I am, amness, is truth, not defined by the mind, has no me and you in it, has no practitioner and practicer in it. So it's not a practice. It's truth, recognizing the truth recognizing itself. I know I am. I know I am. I am. I know I am. But this I precedes the form, precedes the shape, precedes the name, precedes thought. The I am. That has no form and no shape. That is the reality of all reality, the one reality, the reality of the self, the business of beingness. That is aware, that knows I am. In the true spiritual practice, there is no practitioner and a practicer and a practiced. You are being practiced. You are the practice. There is no practicer. There is no meditator in meditation. You, I, is meditation. But the I is not a man or a woman, you see. It's not a person meditating. So meditate on the meditator. I meditating on I. What is I? I is. What would know I if not I itself? What would know the self if not the self itself? Whatever image arises is not you. Whatever thought arises is not you. Whatever past arises is not you. Whatever future arises is not you. You are independent of any arising. You are unconditional. No conditions affect the I. So how could I meditate? What for? What would that be? I am. That is meditation. Thoughts are like clouds. The sky has no concern about the clouds. What is it that is concerned about the clouds? About the body, about the feelings, about the friendships, about being loved, about my future, about my retirement? What is it that is, what is it that is concerned about the clouds? What do you take yourself to be? Don't mistake yourself to be anything, any body, mind. How could you be a body that you perceive, that you experience? Thank you, Habibti. Thank you, Habibti. Thank you. Okay, Pia had sent me this question. Dear Magdi, if you could please speak about identification with pain in the body, that would be great. There is an intense experience of pain in my body, and it gets stirred by identifying as someone who is in pain and needs to be healed. The mind interprets the situation as dangerous and that the pain needs immediate action. It's such a juicy topic for the mind to keep busy with, trying to solve the problem of healing, infinite loops of thought. Could you talk about recognizing yourself as awareness when there is an experience of pain, please? Much gratitude, Pia. Okay, Pia. Pain in the body is the body calling for attention. Is the body basically knocking on your door saying, hey, please take a look at what's going on here. So it's your job to open the door when that door knocks and look at what's going on. There may be some condition within the body that may require some adjustment. There may be a need to make some changes in your lifestyle, in maybe your eating habits, or so you have to basically turn your attention to what the body is needing from you. And of course, there are situations where the pain is also asking you to do something about the pain. And in our culture today, we have a lot of remedies, a lot of aids to help us with the pain. And so you can turn your attention also to reducing your pain. The body is not meant to live in pain, but expresses the pain for you to respond to it, and of course to cure the cause, and also do the best you can about reducing the pain, the painful symptoms in the body. Now, your question was, of course, about identifying with the pain. The pain relates to the body. You perceive the pain, and you are not the body, but you perceive the pain depending on the intensity of the situation. With the body, you will perceive a little pain or an intense pain, depending on what situation the body is requiring from you, what is happening at the body level. This is because if you confuse yourself to be the body, you will experience psychological pain. You will experience that something is happening to you, that there is some danger to you. All the dangers pertain to the body. If a lion is chasing you and you are alone out there in the tundra, well, there's going to be pain that pertains to the body and the sense of danger to the body, not to you. But you cannot truly experience what I'm saying. You will hear the words, but you will not experience that, except when you are contemplating what you truly are. You need to come to a deeper understanding, and the understanding keeps deepening, that you are not what you perceive. You are not the body. The body, you perceive the body as sensations. And you perceive the body as images and as perceptions. Whatever you perceive, you are not. You are the awareness, and the awareness is not phenomenal. The body is phenomenal. It's composed of the 5 elements. But that which perceives the body is not composed of any elements. The body is constantly undergoing infinite changes, second by second, moment by moment. But I is not changing. It's the changeless self. So turn your attention to that perceives, that is not in the perception, that is not subject to the perception, that is not defined by the body. They're not defined by the pain in the body. It perceives the pain, but is not defined by the pain. Keep contemplating that you are this formless awareness. And that this formless awareness has no gender. It's not a female awareness or a male awareness. It has no age. It's not 50-year-old awareness or 40-year-old awareness or 30-year-old awareness. It's an ageless, timeless awareness. It's non-phenomenal. Everything that you experience is subject to awareness, is subject to consciousness. There is nothing that you know, any pain that you know, refers to the consciousness that perceives it. Everything that you experience refers to consciousness. And that is what I is. I is that. I is this consciousness, this awareness. So the identification, we all experience that because it's a download. We all have that virus of the me virus, the identification, that I am the body. I am born and I'm going to die. It is the body that is born and the body is bound to die. And any person who believes otherwise is demented. So you let the body be and do what it needs to do, and your business is to manage the body as best you can without buying any stories about you. You don't need to buy any stories about you. Whatever is happening to the body level is happening at the body level. What is happening in the world is happening in the world. What's happening in the weather is happening in the weather. It's a beautiful snowfall. here is happening. It doesn't define what I am. Anything that happens to the body is not happening to you. But your business is to do your best with managing the body, taking care of the body, exercising the body, giving the body healthy foods, and giving the body good environment, giving the body good rest, and not overworking the body, and making sure that the body is surrounded with good friends who are not out to reinforce the competition between images. You continue to contemplate the transparency of being that you are. You know, healing the body, all bodies are going to be needing some healing. It's not a problem. That's how it is with the bodies. They don't last forever. There are no bodies that die healthy. They're all going to require at some point or the other more attention, and at some point we let the body go. And all the thoughts that you're having are thoughts about me, not about the body. We have some thoughts about the body, we go to the doctor or we change our diet, blah, blah. But the spinning of the thoughts is about me. We identify with the body. Be watchful that not to confuse yourself with the body, that you perceive the body, you experience the body, but you are not the body. So, say, recognizing yourself as awareness when there is an experience of pain. When there is an experience of pain, there is awareness of pain. Awareness is there. And when there is pain, your business is to, you're aware of the pain, of course, awareness is there, and is to take care of the pain, do whatever you need to do to take care of the body. Reduce the pain, take some painkillers, look into what's causing the pain. So don't worry so much about recognizing yourself as awareness when you're experiencing pain. Don't complicate it. Don't make a big deal out of the pain. Don't make a big deal out of the body. Because you make a big deal out of the body, and it starts spinning, and it starts to haunt you. Just be easy with it. You give it a little bit of attention. When there is an intense situation, you give it more attention, and then you let it be. You know, we're very fortunate that in today's culture we have. It's not like 500 years ago where we didn't have the medical facilities and all the knowledge about how the body functions to take care of it. Well, some people may disagree with me about some maybe older remedies may have been better. I don't know. But all bodies will have issues. Don't make a big deal about recognizing yourself as awareness when there is pain. Awareness is there. It's always recognizing itself. It knows it is. Just do not confuse yourself to be the body. Any questions here?
Hi, Magdi.
Hello, Holly.
Yep, that's me.
Hello, I was just raising the volume. I didn't realize I had the volume low. Yes, hello,
Okay.
Holly.
Um, so I have a question about vasanas.
Yes.
Um, so a lot of, I'm sure there's a lot of vasanas that I have that I am unaware of, but there's some that I am aware of. For instance, I know I'm very tight around money. Um, when you have a vasana and you know what it is there anything that you can do proactively, or is it more a matter of accepting gracefully when consciousness brings up your opportunities to work with it? Um,
Yes.
okay.
You know, generosity is a good virtue to invite into your life. And also gratitude, and trust. So we're grateful for recognizing consciousness. That's the greatest gratitude. Recognize I am this aware presence that has no gender, no age, no limitation, that is the reality of all impressions, the reality of money, the reality of wealth and health, the reality of trees, the reality of nature, the reality of galaxies, the reality of mind, the reality of universes. And here we are recognizing that. That is a great recognition. And in this recognition, we recognize the, that all creation arises from that which creates it. Like your night dreams arise out of the dreamer's mind. There is that recognition that I am this amness. I am this awareness, this presence, the creator of all creations. I create wealth and health out of my sense of play and my freedom. And I is unopposed, the one reality. And whatever is unopposed is complete freedom and happiness. So the I has no opposite to wealth. what is it? Poverty, wealth and poverty. Consciousness is only wealth, has no wealth and poverty. It's only health. It has no health and sickness. Consciousness is absolute. Unopposed. There isn't consciousness and non-consciousness. There isn't consciousness and unconsciousness. It's only consciousness. This is an important recognition, and we say yes to that. We say yes to that in everything that we do, in everything that we perceive, in everything that we think, in everything that we live. We say yes to that, yes to the reality of consciousness. Its universality, its borderlessness, its wholeness. All is consciousness. That doesn't mean $20 billion. It means infinite dollars. It means everything is that. Everything is consciousness. All is consciousness. When we are feeling ourselves as a person and experiencing ourselves as a person, there are concerns. $1,000 is not enough. Then we want 2,000, then 2,000 enough. No, then we want 10,000, then that's not enough. Then we have a million, and that's not enough. Then we have 5 million, it's not enough. There's no way for happiness when we are still believing and experiencing ourselves as a person in time and space. So the concerns about this vasana, about money or abundance, is connected with the sense of limitation that we have as a person. But what you are is limitless and complete abundance. You are the complete abundance of the self, the limitlessness of the self. If you are contemplating wealth as a person, you are still contemplating limitation, and you will not get the satisfaction. When you are contemplating your true nature, you are contemplating the wholeness of the self and the wealth of the self simultaneously. Because the self is all, and it's absolute wealth and health and well-being, causeless peace and happiness. When the vasana arises, you have the teaching, which you are hearing right now, and you've heard many times before, and I know you have it within your own experience, that is available to you. The generosity, the gratitude, and the trust that are connected with consciousness and not with a personal self. I am generous because everything flows through the body-mind via consciousness. I am not holding on to the goods. It's flowing through me, of course, like the water flows through the field, from one field to the other field to the other field. Every field that it flows through, it nourishes, it waters, and then it flows through to the next field and the next field as a metaphor. So it's flowing through me, it's feeding me, but it's not being retained by me. It's flowing through, so I am with open hands. I'm a channel as a body-mind flow of in the dream, the wealth and the abundance. So I open my hands and it flows right through me. It comes to me and flows through me. Nourishes me and nourishes everybody around me. And the gratitude for that recognition, the recognition of consciousness and the gratitude of the appreciation of everything, appreciating breath, appreciating being, appreciating perception, appreciation of for everything, which is appreciation of consciousness. So it's gratitude and trusting the Dharma, trusting the path, trusting the self. There's only one reality. And that reality has no opposite. There isn't wealth and poverty within that reality. Wealth and poverty are within the mind, the me mind. But in consciousness, there is no wealth and poverty. Trust consciousness. Continue your contemplation of consciousness as best you can. Live it, express it, feel it, perceive it, sense it. Give yourself completely to that. And open yourself up to all possibilities.
Mm.
See the possibility in everything that's arising to you, not the problem,
Yeah.
but possibility. And you can pick and choose. Open yourself up to all possibilities, infinite possibilities of consciousness. All the streams that flow from the source. And trust the magic of consciousness. It doesn't even need to snap its fingers. It shifts. Release that, the petty mind of the me. Do not nurture that. That's just a download, the download of limitations. And be watchful of envy. appreciation and gratitude, generosity, appreciation and gratitude, and trust, and opening yourself up to infinite possibilities.
Okay.
Yes?
Yeah.
Magdi,
Hello, John.
hi. Um, okay. I think I spoke with you the last time we had a satsang at your house. Um, and I was talking to you about concern and or driving a car, actually being concerned about driving and so forth and so on. And so the question really, or maybe clarification, or maybe from you and or um, some kind of explanation or expansion on it, and that is um, there's going to be concern to drive a car. There's going to be concern that the body has some pain, so one wants to go to the doctor, um, and so forth and so on. I'm getting the message that the understanding that um, yes, consciousness is all, and yet what's also playing is the biological body, the psychology, the so forth and so on, the conditioning, and all these things else are images or play on the screen, you could say, I suppose. But it's not to reject these things, but but also not to identify in a way that um, that's really psychological. That's really enforcing a separate entity from the wholeness, apart from everything and everyone else. Um, and so there's a functional aspect to it. That was the word we brought up, I think. There's a functional aspect to it, but then it's let go of. And I think the um, the suffering um, or the movement away from knowing who I truly am is when I attach to something, when I worry, when I attach to something, um, and um, then I'm moving as a separate entity in a way. Does that make sense? Can you do something with that?
Um, well, in terms of what we uh, experience, there are, of course, there is a functional aspect in our experience where we are managing the the body in this waking dream, or taking care of food, shelter, and clothing. We're making sure that at that level the game is relatively, it's working, sort of, more or less, right?
Right.
Now, when you go to play a game with friends, you know, depending on what the game is, you prepare yourself for the game. You're playing to go basketball, you're going to put on your basketball clothes, your sneakers, get a ball, whatever. And you go to play, and all sorts of things will happen during this play, during this game. Somebody may be holding the ball, passing you, or somebody, or you may be doing very beautiful shots, or there's going to be a certain dynamic going on during the game that we don't know ahead of time. But we're playing and we're having fun. Now, if you go to play, you do all these preparations before you go to the game, and now you're playing the game, but you want to win. Let's say that you want to win. It's really important for you to win. Yes? Mm-hmm. So you're very happy if you win, but you're not very happy if you don't win. Or let's say you want to score the highest points, the highest numbers of points. So you don't pass the ball to the others. So you score a lot of points, but your teams are upset with you because they didn't have a chance to play, and maybe even you lose the game, who knows, but you scored a lot of points, you know. What I'm trying to say is that, yes, in our life, we are practical. We take care of the body. We take care of our job. We take care of paying our bills, whatever we need to take care of. But if you add to that sense of there is something really important for me, there's some sort of personal agenda, mm-hmm. It will affect the game. You may rise to be the greatest leader, because that's what you want, or you will rise to be the most loved person because that's what you want. But there is going to be negative emotions, negative consequences in your life. So that metaphor is about, if you are as a personal self, living your life as a personal self, you are adding to the game this additional personal agendas, personal conditions that spoil the game. And we are all doing that, right? We all know that, and we're all familiar with that. And so the contemplation, the Dharma, is basically here to help you realize that, wait a minute, all that stuff that seems to be so important to you, that it's so crucial for you to win because you feel that if you don't win, something really awful is going to happen, is not true. It's not true. Actually, when you are bringing into the game these conditions, that's when you're really going to be miserable. Mm-hmm. Actually, you are reinforcing the sense that there is something at stake by bringing into the game your personal agendas and your personal conditions. And then you will experience that, yes, it is miserable if I don't score the highest points. It is miserable if I don't get to the top of the heap. It is miserable because you're bringing into the game these conditions. And so you're experiencing the world as a place of do or die, for you, with a sense of personal danger. There's something really important at stake, something really at stake. And that is the psychological element that we're talking about in satsang. But of course, on the other hand, John, there are a lot of improvements that we can do in our game, for example, you can, if you're a basketball player, you can practice your shots just because you enjoy shooting from, I don't know, 20 yards or whatever it is, or you try to practice your passing so that when you're playing, you are a better member of the team because you're good at passing. So there is an aspect in our life that we can improve on many things. We can better develop our skills. We take care of the body, learn how to navigate better in certain situations, practical situations. So there is room for improvement at the body-mind level. But at the psychological level, there is no possibility of improvement. You have to just uproot ignorance. You have to uproot. You have to keep looking at this sense of me until it's completely uprooted. It will diminish. It will become thinner and thinner as you are contemplating the illusion of the separate me. But as long as it's still on board, to whatever extent it's still on board, it's still the party pooper. So there is no improvement at that level. It is either it's on, still operating, even below the radar, even at a lower level, or it's completely seen through. So there is a thinning process, a thinning out process of the sense of separation. And there are many glimpses throughout your contemplation of the Dharma that in time not just thin out and reduce the frequency of the arising of the separate self, but will actually completely slay it.
So when you say that, and you say slay it, or when people say dissolved, then what thinking says, what my thoughts say, or imagines, is the idea that when that happens, then nobody's driving a car, nobody's doing anything. So that this dream character disappears. So
Oh,
there's
the body is still driving the car.
yeah. So I think in a sense maybe it's what I think what you were saying. You didn't use these words too, but it's the idea that this illusion, this belief of a separate person, this belief
Right.
dissolves, and so then when, for instance, the idea of free will and all that stuff, it's or choice. It's like it feels like that. I'm going to make a choice to get in the car, but as a whole, okay, I'm not making the choice in wholeness. But there is
I am making the choice, but not as a separate self. I, as
yes,
consciousness, makes a choice.
right. Well, I think that's what. So there's a lot of this belief stuff, a lot of what or conditioning that that brings on the belief, okay, that appears and comes up as thought, and when that begins to be seen through, okay, then then the idea of playing the game with joy, not with the fear of lack and the expectation of an outcome and so forth and so on. But the play of the game uh, can be fun, I suppose, in a sense.
Well, what's fun in the game
Yeah,
is when there is no separation,
yeah,
when there isn't a me and a you,
yeah,
which is love, which is beauty, which is freedom. That's the fun. The fun is shared fun. It's a shared happiness. It's not the happiness for me playing enough. Happiness is the absence of separation.
yes,
So,
yeah,
so the celebration of the dream, the celebration of life, is when there isn't a me on board. Then there is celebration, there is creativity, there is joy, because there isn't any opposite. There are no
yeah,
limitations. There isn't a me and a you. We imagine that it's only possible to celebrate when I am free. But freedom is not a personal freedom. Freedom is
right,
the reality of the self, is universal freedom, you see. So in a way, there is nobody playing the game, but God, it's God's game. And we are that. We are God and we are the game.
yeah,
I am God and I am the game. I am the dreamer and I am the dream.
mhm,
Because the dream isn't separate from I, the dreamer. So, yes, when I do not, I cease imagining myself to be just one character in the dream with many other characters out there, and the world is out there, and I'm doing my best to, when I
sure,
stop imagining myself and experiencing myself to be a separate self, then right then and there is bliss and happiness. Whenever you are not imagining yourself to be a separate self, you're happy, naturally happy. Because you don't imagine yourself to be a separate self 24/7. Many, throughout your day, there are so many occasions you don't even notice where you're not even imagining yourself or thinking of yourself or experiencing yourself as a separate self.
hmm,
And that's the natural, your, the natural, your true nature of happiness is there. But we don't need to notice it because it's what we are. In
hmm,
fact, a happy person doesn't even go around saying I'm happy, because what else is there? They're just happy. You're so used to being happy. It's like when you're a mother, you're happy to have a son or a daughter, you have a child. You may experience some happiness, the first few months when, the baby is born or whatever. But after a while, of course, you're happy because you're the mother. Let's say if you wanted to be a mother, I'm just using
sure,
this example. But it becomes so natural to you to be the mother that you don't even notice your happiness. You follow? What I'm saying is that
sure,
happiness is not a state,
right,
not a state. It's what we are. But we experience happiness and unhappiness because we leave our natural state and we experience unhappiness. We experience the limitation, the worries, the concern, blah blah, and then somehow we look out and we see a beautiful sunset, or we see the deer out in the, and for that moment we totally forgot about my concerns. So we go, wow, look at this deer, oh wow, look at the fox. And then we're back to our natural state. You follow what I'm saying?
yes,
Is
hmm,
that we are, our true nature is already there. It's already here. And there are like more or less thicker veils that come and go, come and go, come and go. But coming back to what you're saying, John, what you're saying before, John, is that you, in not being a person, a separate self, when you sort of somehow are not living as that, you don't need to celebrate anything. You're already celebrating.
right,
you're already in celebration.
Right. Right. It's a, I guess one could say it's it's an expression of consciousness, or it's
Yes.
just done. It's done spontaneous.
Everything becomes an expression of consciousness. Everything is an expression of consciousness.
Yeah. Yes.
It's just that
Exactly.
you remove the pink glass, the pink glasses, and now you see, oh, no, I thought the snow was pink, but it was always there, white. It was always white, you see.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's always that white. It's not like you have to do any effort now to see it that it's white, you see.
Right. 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 Yeah. 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 And I guess that it's helpful in a way that there's this, and it has to be it can't just be a belief either, but there's this sort of true recognition that I am not the fragment of the whole. I am the whole.
Right.
And this insanity of being a fragment, I mean, that's going to be maddening.
Yes.
And that's what all this other stuff is. Even though I guess I'm going to use the word play. It plays. It appears. Let's say it appears in consciousness, in myself. It appears, but as soon as I attach to that and believe that I am that fragment, that's where it goes wild.
Yes. Over and over, when we notice the I thought, the me, and all what comes with it, and we say, wait a minute, yeah, that's not what I am. I'm perceiving this sensation, I'm perceiving the thought, and we just sort of we don't take that further step.
Sure.
That has its that's the sadhana. That has its reward. Let's say.
Sure.
Tricky way of wording it, but let's say that has its weight. Yes, that's the sadhana. Yes, and it works. It works by itself. It's like when the sun is shining, John.
Yeah.
Naturally, the snow, the ice will melt. It won't melt over 10 minutes, but
Right.
it's inevitable that the shining light of consciousness dissolves the impressions of separation and personal limitation.
Yeah. That works.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you for your question. Okay, everybody. Thank you all for your love and your friendship. Thank you for the satsang. Thank you.
Thank you, Magdi.
Okay.
Thank you.